jolly good.
Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clyde, and welcome to another My Thoughts On. Today, oh, excuse me. Today, I'm going to be talking about Bolt, the 2008, or I guess in this case, 2009 animated film from Disney, and this is their third fully CGI animated film that came out after Chicken Little and Meet the Robinsons. I actually did see this film when it came out in cinemas. I think it came out in November. I could be wrong, or February time. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it came out in February of 2009. And it came out in November 2008. Well, then it's halfway around, isn't it? I remember seeing this film. I remember the trailer. I remember the posters. I think there was a game for. Yeah, there was a game for it as well. Um, I remember seeing it with my mum, my friend, and my friend's sister, and I remember really liking Bolt. And so, since Raya and the Last Dragon is almost here, rewatching, retalking. So, Bolt is about this dog named, well, Bolt. And he's voiced by John Travolta, and he's a dog who has superpowers, and he's the pet of Penny, voiced by Miley Cyrus, and he believes that he can stop this evil green one-eyed villain named Doctor. I can't pronounce his second name. Doctor Salico, I think, voiced by Malcolm McDowell. However, after some weird mishaps, he escapes from the studio because it's actually a TV show, but Bolt thinks that he actually is who he is in the show, and he has to try and save Penny after a weird mishap, I suppose. He comes across a alley know-it-all kind of wisecracking and also kind of snarky sassy cat named Mittens, who's voiced by Susie Essman, and a a hamster named Rhino, voiced by Mark Walton. And together they must go back to the studio to find Penny and be reunited. Along the way, Bolt learns that there is more to him than just an action star, because he is actually a dog. And he has to learn what dogs actually do. So basically, this is like a fish out of water story. You know, the main character who doesn't know anything about society, and he has to try and get through tough crowds in order to get to where he wants to go, but he doesn't know the area, he doesn't even know how it works. And this is kind of like that, although it does make me question how Bolt doesn't know how the real world works. I mean, in the beginning, the opening to this film is incredibly cute. I mean, obviously it's a dog, but when Penny, picks Bolt, does Bolt not learn about tricks, eating, or anything? It would have been nice if there was like a little montage of him growing up and then going into the show, but But I do like the idea of a character who believes in his own. He's like in his own little world in a way. So it's like, when someone keeps quoting films and all that all the time, and it feels like they're in their own little worlds, and you don't really see what's really around them. That's kind of what Bolt is. He doesn't know what. Like, there's a scene where he thinks, oh, what's that stuff? What's that stuff in the boxes then picks up? I think it's chlorine. I think styrofoam. I think it's styrofoam or something. He believes that's his weakness, and it's a little funny, but also it can be kind of relatable when people don't know what the thing is and they can overreact to it as well. And it's also a very nice little road trip film as well. It's kind of like before Secret Life of Pets became a thing in a way. So it's basically just these three animals just going on a journey to get back home from some weird, going from car to car, and even getting captured at one point as well. and they have, it's the typical standard road trip movie. Two characters don't get along at first, and then they both start to have a bond with each other, and then both characters separate because of an argument or something else, and then one character returns, and yeah, pretty much most Disney films, although unlike Marvel and Star Wars where it gets very, very repetitive, although with Marvel it depends on what the film is really, but it does get very repetitive fast, but with Disney I actually don't mind when they repeat the same formula. Same with Pixar. As long as the characters are easily likable and you root for them, then that's fine. If they're hateable, that's a different matter. In this case, the characters are all likable and funny, and I think all three of the main characters, Bolt, Mittens, and Rhino, I think they're all great characters, and they have great chemistry as well. There's also some really funny moments in the film, great slapstick, great visual jokes. I will admit, sometimes the film can kind of drag on just a little bit, especially when there's like a very touching, very nice scene when these pigeons come in to pitch an idea to Bolt about aliens. That's kind of when the humour kind of gets a bit interruptive a little bit. And the film's predictable, but it's executed in a very nice, simple, relaxing way that you can easily just ignore for a little bit and just enjoy. The storytelling here, I think, is, I wouldn't quite say original, but we've seen this before. It's a road trip movie with animals. How many films have we seen with that? But it's done in a very nice, relaxing, and very entertaining way that it's kind of like you just turn your brain off and just kind of enjoy the ride. And yeah, the humour, while very funny, can be a little bit distracting and a bit too on the nose sometimes, and it is predictable and a little bit what's the word and it can get a little too extreme at times. But besides that, I think it's a well told story, very nicely executed, very funny, very entertaining, and even very touching and cute as well. Come on, how could I not forget that? Animation. For a film that was made in the late 2000s, came out in the late 2000s, it still looks really good. Although compared to Disney's films, at least 3D animated films nowadays, it's not as amazing as those, but it's better than what Meet the Robinsons and Chicken Little looks like. And this is directed by Byron Howard, who directed Zootropolis. So you can kind of see where this style would then lead on to like Tangled, Frozen, freaking Big Hero 6, which I will get to tomorrow as well. So the animation here is really good, actually. It still looks very stylish and, again, cute, but really good. I like the design of Bolt. I think the way he is portrayed and the way he moves and the way he acts like a dog is actually kind of accurate, and I think it works. Same with Mittens. Rhino, I think, is a very hilarious looking character, and I like his design as well. Mittens looks quite cute and quite sassy. The human characters look a bit off a little bit, but they look fine. Hell, the animation kind of reminds me of like a DreamWorks film. If this was a DreamWorks film, I can kind of see where this film would go in that direction, and it does feel like one, but that's a story for another time. The backgrounds look quite nice. The scenes where we see Bolt and Penny doing the TV show is quite cool, and I like how it does kind of, every now and then, what's the word, where it mocks like TV cliches and all that, and you can see how they film the show, which is also quite cool as well. It's got nice textures and the scenes where the main characters go from car to car, trying to get home, going on a road trip style journey. It's very beautiful, very nice as well. It's a nicely atmospheric film, very wonderfully animated in a way, especially in terms of backgrounds. So yeah, while it's not quite as good looking as, amazing looking as Zootropolis, it still holds up relatively well. It's got good style, it looks beautiful, the backgrounds are nice, it's Got good character design, good expressions, and the way Bolt acts like a dog is really great, and it's accurate almost. It's a very pleasant looking film. Not much else I can say about it other than that it's a barking good looking film. I mean, great looking film. Excuse me. So yeah, not quite, not quite as amazing as the later Disney films from the 3D animated spectrum, but better than the last two at least. Hell, even more. Characters and acting. I like pretty much about 90% of these characters. Bolt is a funny, cute, charming character, and he's a little stick with just thinking that he feels like he's actually in the TV show, but in reality, he's just in the real world thinking that he is the main character, but he's just a dog. He's kind of amusing and a bit funny in a way, and as soon as the film goes on, he starts to realise, he realises that not everything on him is real. Like he's got a lightning bolt, like cutie mark thing on there, and he doesn't have superpowers as well. So also, spoiler alert, I guess, but it's a Disney film. What do you expect? But yeah, he's a charming, likable main lead. He wasn't annoying. He was cute. He was funny. I thought he was very pleasant. Mittens is a pretty good supporting character for Bolt, although she can be a little bit annoying, a little bit sassy as well, but she's good. Rhino can be a little bit annoying, but he is pretty funny in how extreme and how much of a big fan he is of Bolt as well, and I think he's a really great supporting character, great comic relief as well. I must say, he does steal the show. Penny's a good key character, although she's not in the film for too long. She's okay. She doesn't do much, but she at least acts like an actual child, not like a cartoony, wacky, sympathetic child. I mean, she is very sympathetic, but not too sympathetic. Um, there are not. You got the villain, who, well, in reality is not the villain. He's just an actor, played very well by Malcolm McDowell. You got the director as well, the agent too. They're probably the closest things to villains, but really they only care about fame and money and all of that. You got other characters in there. You got pigeons. You got two other cats that make fun of Bolto. I keep saying Bolto. Sorry, Bolt as well. Not much else to say about the rest of the characters. The main ones I think are quite strong. The voice acting is really good. John Travolta is not bad as Bolt. I think he fits the character quite well. Miley Cyrus as Penny, a very weird choice, but she's fine. Chloe Grace Moretz, who you may know from Kick-Ass, The Addams Family, and then pretty soon Tom and Jerry the movie. She voices young Penny, and she's also quite good as well. Susie Essman is a very fitting choice for Mittens. Mark Walton, who worked on lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of animated stuff, is great as Rhino. Like I said, Malcolm McDowell voices the villain actor quite well. You've also got Derek Bader as well. You got Kate Walgren. You got Grey Griffin. You got some very recognisable voice actors like Jeff Burnett, John DiMaggio as well. Phil Lamar, Scott Menville, Tara Strong, even Chris Williams, who's the co-director. I believe. I think he's either co-director or one of the directors for this film. He's in this as well. With a likeable cast of characters who are quite strong, likeable, and you do feel sorry for them, and you can really sympathise with them. They're all likeable, all memorable, and even well written, but with solid voice acting, I think they are so much more. On the plus side, this film's score is by no one else but John fucking Powell. That's right, the composer for Rio, How to Train Your Dragon, and Chicken Run and Ants. I think, to my knowledge anyways, this is his first Disney film that he did the score for, which is quite remarkable really, and his score is just as wonderful as the other films that he has done. It's beautiful. It does remind you so much more of How to Train Your Dragon and the Ice Age sequels. It's really good as always, and even the end song I Thought I Lost You, which is sung by John Travolta and Miley Cyrus. Coincidentally enough, it's also nice. Hell, even the songs are actually really, really nice as well. This film came out like roughly 10, 11 years ago, and it still holds up quite well. Not flawlessly, but I liked it more than I disliked it. Bolt's not amazing, but it is still pretty great, and I still like it. You know, it's the animation's not exactly dated too well, but it looks pleasant and it still holds up nicely, and it has good style and it is very beautiful. The characters are very likable and entertaining. The voice acting is great as always, with some great and awesome talent. The music's fantastic. The songs, the story we've seen before, but it's done in a very nice, relaxing, and refreshing way that I wouldn't call original, I suppose, but it's done nicely and it has a good heart and nice humour. Although it can be a little bit extreme and annoying and the humour can be a bit off, and it's a very predictable film, along with two characters that you can probably dislike more than you can like. It's not perfect, but I liked it more than I disliked it. It's quite underrated, actually. It's a very underrated Disney 3D animated flick. It's very underrated, and people just tend to forget about it, which is a shame, because I think it's a really well made and well put together film. I mean, it's better than the last two films. You know, Chicken Little's just unpleasantly bad. Meet the Robinsons was just okay, and then this is like pretty great. And from there, Disney was on the right track. They soon to make even bigger, even better stuff. At least in terms of 3D animated stuff. I'll give the film a simple 8 out of 10. Not amazing, but I'm glad I rewatched it. I still really like it. So yeah, Bolt. And now we've got Big Hero 6 left, and then afterwards, the big one, Raya and the Last Dragon. So if you have seen Bolt, do you remember seeing it when it came out, when you were quite young, or whatever age you were? Do you think it's good, bad, decent? Do you want to see it? Let me know below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And until next time, bye for now.